We're all familiar with cell phone dead zones, right? Where there's no reception, you can't make a phone call. Well, are there dead zones in your retirement savings? There are 5 of them. I'm going to point those out so you can be on the lookout for them. That and more coming up. My name's Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. Every day on my drive home from work, I hit a dead zone for my cell reception. Every single day. And I don't live that far away from the office, but pretty much every day when I'm on my way home from work, I call my wife. And even though it's just a short commute, 10 minutes or so, it's just a catch up on, hey, how was your day? What's going on? What's the plan for this evening? Where do you want me? Which kid am I taking where to which sporting event? And without fail, guys, it's like clockwork. Every time I hit this one corner, cell service goes out. And the hope is that it's just a few moments and then it's we're back on and the call doesn't drop. Sometimes it drops. And it's terribly frustrating, right? And we've had the conversations, I know you have too, where it's like, hello, and seemingly the person is mad at you because you've gone through this dead zone. It's awful, right? Oxford Dictionary, it defines a dead zone as a time period or place where nothing happens. Well, these dead zones don't apply just to cell phone coverage. They actually apply to your retirement savings as well. They are just as real. I've seen them. We've coached people through them. Thankfully, differently than a cell phone dead zone that you sort of can't really avoid, these, well, you can't avoid them. You can sort of power through and kind of push through and not get caught up in the trap of these circumstances being actual retirement dead zones. There are 5 of them that you need to watch out for and persevere through. The first retirement savings dead zone is when you switch jobs. You need to be on the lookout for this. And why would this be considered a dead zone? Well, number one, when you're shifting jobs, you might not be eligible to save up in your 401k right away, your new 401k. There might be a vesting time period or a eligibility time period. That's better said, not a vesting, an eligibility time period. You can't contribute for the first 30 days, or you can't contribute for the first 3 months or the first 6 months, something like that. There might actually be you're not able to save up in the 401k. Well, how do you overcome that? Saving into an IRA, saving into a Roth IRA, saving into a different account that is still geared for your retirement. Another reason why switching jobs could be a retirement savings dead zone is if there's a change in your income. And guys, I've seen it where you're switching jobs and your income goes down. Maybe you're switching careers, or you're switching jobs and your income goes up. Both of those have a tendency for people to say, you know what, I need to hold off on these retirement savings for just a bit and then I'll catch them back up. If your income goes down, that's an obvious reason. Well, we're seeing an income cut, but I needed to make this job change, and so therefore I have to slow down or pause my retirement savings. But if your income goes up, you might be elevating your lifestyle at that time as well. We just bought a new car, or we just bought a new house, or something else where you say, you know what, I've got enough income where we'll be able to catch up on retirement savings later. We need to pause it right now. So watch out for that retirement savings dead zone of when you switch jobs. Persevere by either just ignoring that noise and those reasons why you might say, I'm gonna slow down what I contribute or put a pause on it and just continue to save. Or if there is an eligibility time period where you've got to wait up before you're allowed to contribute to the 401k, start doing that saving into a Roth IRA or other retirement account. A second time where you might be tempted to enter a retirement savings dead zone is when you have a child. This one I would say is probably the most common. When you've got a child, there's a lot of new expenses that enter, health insurance for one, diapers and other things two, and maybe childcare expenses, or maybe instead of childcare expenses, you're seeing income go down. All of it can be a very, strenuous time period for your present financial position. Sorry, that's a little geeky, your cash flow. And it's very tempting to say, I need to stop my 401k contributions right now, or retirement is 30, 40 years away. This child is right here. It's now urgent and important. We need to stop our retirement savings. We'll catch them up later. And so many people have done this, and I get it. I've gone through that. We've got 3 kids. However, finding a way, updating your budget, figuring out what you could say no to and what you have to say yes to so that you can continue to save consistently for retirement. That consistency, that perseverance, that'll help you get through this potential retirement savings dead zone. Third one I mentioned already, and that is buying a new house. Oftentimes, buying a new house is there's a lot of new expenses. I call it sort of a 6-month fog. Not only is the new house likely more expensive, but your old furniture probably doesn't look great in the new house. The new house needs carpet or it needs paint or something. It needed a lamp. Why would I need a lamp? But for whatever reason, it does. Or half the rooms don't have ceiling fans. That's the one. Last time we moved, none of the rooms had ceiling fans, and we needed ceiling fans in all of them. So there's just a lot of expense going with when you switch houses. And sometimes it's a reset, like to a higher level, a high watermark for what your mortgage is, especially in this housing affordability and interest rate market that we're in right now. And it might feel like, in order to make this work, we need to trim back our 401k savings or our retirement savings right now. Again, similar to the child, it's, well, retirement's out there in the future. The new house is right here, and these expenses are right here, right now, so we need to adjust. Well, careful, okay? Again, the idea is perseverance, and I would build out that budget, as geeky as that is, that 3 bank account system where you're looking at, here's how much income's coming in, and here's what we're saying yes to, here's our fixed monthly expenses, including that new mortgage, here's the variable ones. I would figure out a way to make it all fit. And if that means, right, this is sort of a conscious decision where you said, we want to live in this level house, and so we're saying yes to that. Make sure you're not saying no to saving up for your retirement and for your financial future. Say yes to both of them. It might mean you've got to say no, even if it's a temporary no, to something else. But that's how you can persevere and avoid the temptation for making that time period where you're moving, buying a new house, avoid that being a retirement savings red zone. A fourth time, going back to having kids when they enter college. When they enter college, you might be looking and saying, this is a new expense, and one of our goals is to help the kids with college, or maybe it wasn't one of your goals, but they're not prepared, and you're looking at the student loan and education crisis and saying, oh, we've got to help, and therefore, what can we do? Okay, we'll reduce our 401k savings down or reduce them to zero, and then we'd have some cash flow to help with college. One of the ways that you can help with this is even early on, know that this is a potential retirement savings dead zone and save up a little bit as you can into a 529 plan or a college savings account. The other is having sort of a conscious awareness of, well, gosh, which of these goals is a higher priority? Being able to retire someday or helping our kids with college. And if you say, I can't choose between the two, they're both high priorities, then budgeting wise, figure out a way to do both. But if you raise it to that level of awareness and say, no, we need to be able to look out for our own financial future. It's our child's responsibility for figuring out college. Then be consistent and say, no, we're still keeping our retirement savings where it is. Or say if you're at 15%, well, update our retirement plan. We can contribute 10% and still be on track. And so move it there, and that would allow you to do a little bit of both. But persevering through those expensive years when your kids are in college so that doesn't become a retirement dead zone either. And then the last retirement savings dead zone is unique. It's unlike the others, okay? The others have some sort of life change going on with them, a transition, if you will. And during those transitions, it's often times where people rethink their choices, especially out there in the future. And because it's a transition, the temptation is to think about right now instead of thinking about the future. Well, one of the habits of those that are financially successful is being proactive and doing today what will benefit the future, benefit tomorrow. So each of those transitions that are potential retirement dead zones, getting ahead of those and preparing for those upcoming transitions will help you avoid those dead zones. But the fifth one, this last one's different. This is not a life transition. This is an experience we all go through, and that is a steep market decline. A steep market decline is another one of those retirement savings dead zones. Why? Because during steep market declines, which happen on a regular basis, every few years actually, so on average, every 12 to 18 months, we have a correction. That's a drop of 10% or more. Every 4 years or so, we're going to have a bear market, a drop of 20% or more. So this is a feature of investing, not a bug. But when those time periods happen and when you're contributing your hard-earned dollars into your 401k and you pull up your 401k and you see that I contributed $5,000 and my investments lost 15, you feel like I'm throwing money away. And what you do is you then say, I'm not going to do that. I will pause my 401k savings or my retirement savings until it's safe again, until I can put the money back in. What you're failing to realize is that $5,000 or whatever you contributed, that didn't go away. You bought shares. Now you have more shares, even though those shares are temporarily worth less. When things rebound, those shares, you now have more, will climb in value, and you'll see a big upswing in that value. But so many people emotionally look and say, I'm not going to throw money down the drain. Therefore, I need to pause my retirement savings or scale back significantly. And when you look back on a career of investing or a career of employment, and every 4 to 5 years, there's a 12 to 18 month time period where you pause your savings, that adds up, guys, significantly, and significantly influences your ability to save up enough to retire. Retire with confidence, retire when you want to. So having that courage, that consistency, the mindset even of saying I'm buying shares, even if those shares on my statement are worth a little bit less, I've got more shares, so when things rebound, I'll see an even greater upswing. That's the perspective to help you avoid this last retirement savings dead zone. Each of these, with proper planning, proper discipline, the right perspective, the right coaching, you can avoid each of these retirement savings dead zones, unlike that cell phone dead zone that I can't avoid on my way home unless I took a different route, I suppose. So work with your certified financial planner on that. Navigate and avoid each of these by having the consistent approach, the right coaching, in any other retirement savings dead zones as well. So work with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us here as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. There you have it. Go on and take your next wise step in your financial life.